start our class after the pre-midterm examination. Most of you performed well in the exam. Very good, children. Now, let's begin today's class. We are continuing with the history lesson. In the previous lesson, we learned about the life of hunter-gatherers and what are the different types of sites. What do you mean by sites? Sites are places where the remains of things were found. These were used and left behind by the people. And also we learned about the stone ages, such as Paleolithic, Mesolithic and Neolithic. In this lesson, we are going to learn the new way of life of hunter-gatherers, from hunting and gathering to farming and herding. From hunter-gatherers, how do they become settled farmers? Let's see. In the last lesson, we learned about the life of hunter-gatherers. How do they live? What are the different types of sites? And stone ages. The three stone ages such as Paleolithic, Mesolithic and Neolithic. And what are the stone tools used in this period? Especially Mesolithic period, the stone tools are very tiny and are called microliths. And according to the evidence getting from a site, the archaeologists named the sites differently. Where the stone tools are made, that sites are called factory sites. In factory sites, if they get evidence about the people lived for a long period of time, then it is called habitation cum factory sites, etc. So, from hunting and gathering food, how their life changed into food producers and cattle herders. Now, in this lesson, we are going to learn about that. That is why the lesson's name is From Gathering to Growing Food. Let's learn more about their life and how did they became farmers and herders. How their life changed from nomads to settled agriculturalists. Varieties of foods. Today, most of our foods such as fruit, vegetables, grain, milk and meat comes from plants that are grown and animals that are reared. Different plants grow in different conditions. For example, rice required more water than wheat and barley. You know, rice is mainly grown in South India, Kerala and all, and wheat mainly cultivated in North India. Okay. And like the animals also, different animals do prefer different environments. For instance, sheep and goat can survive more easily than cattle in dry, hilly environments. The beginnings of farming and herding. We have seen in chapter 2 that the climate of the world was changing during the Mesolithic period. Grasses are grown and the climate was extremely changed. And so were the plants and animals that people used as food also changed. Men, women and children probably observed several things. What are the important things they observed? You can see the places where edible plants were found, how seeds broke off stalks, fell on the ground and new plants sprouted from them. This is the beginning of farming. They observed several things, such as the places where edible plants were found. In the last lesson itself we understood for hunting and gathering they need a lot of skills. They want to find out the edible plants. They also want to know which some of them are poisonous. So they want to select according to that. So this all needs some of the accuracies. So the men, women and children probably observed several things. They find out several things. They observed several things such as The places where edible plants were found, how the seeds broke off stalks, fell on the ground, and a new plant sprouted from them. This all they observed seriously, and also they started to look after them. They started to protecting them. Earlier we know that they are like nomads. Nomads means people, those who are not settled in one place. They are moving from one place to another because they are hunter or gatherers. So if they want to follow the movements of the animals for hunting and also for gathering food, they want to move in search of their food. So they always move from one place to another according to the season, according to or in search of water. That all we learn in the last chapter, in the previous lesson. So they move from one place to another. But when they started farming, they want to protect the plants or look after the plants. So they want to stay in a particular place. So from nomads to settled farmers. So from moving from one place to another, they want to settle in a place for looking after the plants. They observed several things, where the edible plants grow, how their stalks broke out, and new plants sprouted from the seeds. This all they observed, and they stay in a particular place for looking after the plants. And also they want to protect them from birds and animals, those who are destroying the plants. Till the grain ripened. It will take a period, a duration for the grain ripened. So they want to protect these plants from birds and animals. So they want to stay in a particular place for looking after the plants and protecting them from birds and animals. In this way, people became farmers. So this is the way. How did the people become farmers? People observed several things, where the edible plants were found, and how the seeds broke off stalks, how fell on the ground, and new plants sprouted from them. And they also started to looking after the plants and protecting them from animals and birds. Still the grain ripened. In this way, people became farmers. So understood, children? From hunter-gatherers to farmers. This is the way they have changed their life from hunting and gathering to farmers. Clear? The same way they will become herders also. How did the people become herders? Women, men and children could also attract and then tame animals. How do they choose these animals? They are leaving food for them near their shelters. All the animals come near their shelter? No, definitely. Some of the animals, they are relatively gentle, or they are coming near to their campus where they lived, such as sheep, goat, etc. But the wild animals will not tame easily. So people observed several things, such as some of the animals are relatively gentle and mainly they are eating grass. Okay, the vegetable or the grass. And people encouraged animals that are relatively gentle to come near their campus where they lived, especially sheep, goat and cattle. Often people protected these animals from attack of wild animals. So these animals are relatively gentle. So anytime the wild animals come and attack them. So the people protecting these animals, these gentle animals, from the attack of the wild animals. This way they are started or they become herders. Clear? How did the people become herders? Earlier they are only hunting the animals. Now they started to look after them, protecting them from the other animals. This way they will become herders. Now children, clear? How did the people become herders? First, they try to tame the animals relatively gentle and come near their campus, and they started to protect these animals from the attack of wild animals. And this way they became herders. Domestication. This is a definition you want to learn. Domestication is the name given to the process in which people grow plants and look after animals. So what do you mean by domestication? It is a process. It is a name given to a process in which people grow plants and look after animals. Now we learned that how did people become farmers or protecting or growing plants, and how did people become herders or look after the animals. So the domestication is the name given to this process, looking after or growing plants or looking after animals. Very often plants and animals that are tended by people become different from wild plants and animals. This is because people select plants and animals for domestication. So they are selecting a particular plant that is different from the wild plants, a particular animal that is different from the wild animal, and for example they select those plants and animals that are not prone to disease. They also select plants that yield large size grain, more yields, and have strong stalks or capable of bearing the weight of the ripe grain. Seeds from selected plants are preserved and sown to ensure that new plants will have the same qualities. So the crops or the grains quality was depending upon the good seeds. So they selected the seeds, the good quality seeds for growing plants or growing crops that are not prone to diseases, or they are capable of bearing large size grains, have strong stalks, etc. The same way, they also selected the animals that are relatively gentle and are selected for breeding. As a result, gradually domesticated animals and plants become different from wild animals. Clear? So, when the domestication started or farming and herding started, they are selecting the plants or the animals. While they are selecting the plants, they are selecting the good quality seeds that are good quality seeds. According to that, they are not prone to diseases, or they are capable of yielding large size grains, etc. And the animals they are selected according to they are relatively gentle and easy for rearing. As a result, gradually the domesticated animals and plants are different from the wild animals and plants. You can see here, for example, the teeth and horns of wild animals are usually much larger than those of domesticated animals. You can see from the picture. Their teeth is different from the domesticated. The wild animals' teeth is extremely different from and horns also different from the domesticated animals. Clear, children? Yes. Next, domestication was the gradual process. It is not immediately within one day they will become or they started domestication. No, it is a gradual process. Slowly they become farmers, slowly they become herders. From hunting and gathering, they become farmers and herders. It was a gradual process that took place in many parts of the world. Not only in Indian subcontinent, in many parts of the world. It began about 12,000 years ago. Clear? How many years ago? 12,000 years ago. Which are the first plants to be domesticated? The earliest plants to be domesticated were wheat and barley. Which are the earliest domesticated animals? The earliest domesticated animals include sheep and goat. A new way of life. Now, you understood that in the previous lesson, their life is entirely different from this lesson's people, because from hunting and gathering food, they are changed into farming or farmers and herders. They started to grow plants and look after animals. How this changed the lifestyle of the people? It's clear that earlier they are like nomads. They are not settled in one place. They are moving from one place to another. But when they started farming, it is a need to stay in a place because they want to protect the plants, look after the plants, watering the plants. Okay, So they want to stay in a particular place for a long time. So from nomads to settled farmers. Their life is changed from nomads to settled farmers. Let's say, when people began growing plants, they had to stay in the same place for a long time. Clear, children? Yes. If you plant, you can, for example, if you plant a seed, you will notice that it takes some time to grow. This may be for several days, weeks, months, and in some cases years. So it will take time. It is not a sudden process. It will take time to grow the plants, and still it is ripened. It will take a long period of time. So when people began growing plants, they had to stay in the same place for a long time. For looking after the plants, they want to look after these plants. They want to watering them, weeding, driving away animals and birds till the grain ripen. So it will take time to ripen. So that much time, that long period, they want to look after these plants, watering them, weeding, driving away animals and birds. So they want to stay in a particular place for a long time. So from nomads to settled farmers, their life is changed from nomads to settled farmers. The same way, there is surplus food is there. As the grain ripened after the harvesting, as the grains has to be stored for both food and seed. So the remaining food, the surplus food, the seeds or the grains, they want to store. So people had to think of ways of storing it. To that end, they have no such problems, because they are only hunting and gathering, hunters and gatherers. So now they started farming. So there is surplus grains or surplus food is there. So they are started to thinking about how to store this surplus food or surplus grains. In many areas, they began making large clay pots or wove baskets or dug pit house in the ground, like granaries, pataipuras in olden times. So in many areas, they began making large clay pots or wove baskets. You can see the picture of clay pots here. This is the picture of clay pots for storing grains. Earlier they have no such uses, because they are nomads. They are moving from one place to another. They are hunting and they are gathering what all things they need, fruits, nuts, etc. But now they started farming. So there is a need to store the remaining or the surplus food or grains for future use. You can see what are the different uses of these seeds or the grains. They use the grain as seed for the next cultivation. They need seeds. So the remaining grains, the surplus grains, they used as seed. And also they use the grain for food, as food. And also they are giving as a gift. These grains they are giving as a gift. And also they use this grain for, or they are storing this as food. Okay, these are the 4 ways the grain was used. They used the grain as seed, as food, as gift, and this is stored for food. Clear, children? What are the different uses of grains? The same way, they are also they started storing animals. But animals multiply naturally. Besides, if they are looked after carefully, they provided milk, which is an important source of food, and meat whenever required. In other words, animals that are reared can be used as store of food. Okay. Now, next is finding about the first farmers and herders. How do the archaeologists get evidence of these farmers and herders? You learned in the last lesson about the sites. From these sites, how do they get evidences of farming and herding? Let's see. To find out whether these sites were settlements of farmers and herders, they study evidences of plants and animal bones, which are remaining. Okay, the fossils are remaining in these sites. One of the most exciting finds include remains of burned grain. If the grains are burned, that will remain for a long time. Clear, children? These fossils of the grains are not remaining for a long time, but if the grains are burnt, it will remain for a long time. These may have been burnt accidentally or on purpose. Scientists can identify these grains. These are wheat, barley, lentil. With that type of grain, they can identify it. And so we know that a number of crops were grown in different parts of the subcontinent. From this evidence, they understood that a number of crops were grown in different parts of the subcontinent. They can also identify the bones of different animals. So understood that there are different types of animals are reared, or herding also started. Now look at this table and you can find out from where these grains and bones are found, which all sites. Wheat and barley are found in Mahargarh and animals such as sheep, goat and cattle. And in Godhiva, in present-day Uttar Pradesh, they find the evidences of rice and fragmentary animal bones. Rice, cattle are found in Mahargarh in present-day Uttar Pradesh. Wheat and lentil are found in Gufkala in present-day Kashmir. Wheat and lentil, dog, cattle, sheep, goat, buffalo are found in Bazahom in present-day Kashmir. Wheat, green gram, barley, buffalo and ox are found in Chiran in present-day Bihar. Millet, cattle, sheep, goat and pig are found in Halu in present-day Andhra Pradesh. Black gram, millet, cattle, sheep and pig are found in Payamali in present-day Andhra Pradesh. These are just some of the sites from which grain and bones have been found. In the next class, we will learn more about the customs and practices of the early man. Now, let's listen to a small video and recall what we learned. We learned about how did the people become farmers, how did the people become herders, and also we learned about the new way of life, how do the people's way of life is changed, and also we learned about the domestication. Now listen to this video and recall what we learned.
From gathering to growing food. Varieties of food. Today, food such as fruits, vegetables, meat, etc. come from plants that are grown and animals that are reared under different environments as required by them. Crops like rice require more water than wheat, and animals like sheep, goat survive more easily in hilly areas than cattle. The beginning of farming and herding. Men, women and children observed things such as places where plants were found, their reproduction cycle from seeds, and began protecting them from animals and birds, consequently becoming farmers. Men, women and children also learned to tame animals by providing them with food and shelter, and developing closeness with animals that were gentle, and by protecting animals such as goat, sheep, cattle, people turned into herders. The first animal to be tamed was wild ancestor of dog. Domestication. Domestication is the name of the process in which people grow plants and look after animals. Often plants and animals that are tended by people become different from their wild counterparts because people choose certain animals and plants that are not prone to disease and have better quality output. Because of difference in upbringing, gentle animals that are selected for breeding are different from wild animals. The horns and teeth of wild animals are much larger when compared with domesticated animals. Domestication was a process that began 12,000 years ago with wheat, barley, and sheep, goat being the earliest domesticated plants and animals respectively. A new way of life. Seeds that were sown took a long time to grow in days, weeks, months, and years, which made it necessary for the people to stay at the same place taking care and protecting the crop from animals, birds, etc. till the grain ripened. These people made clay pots and woven baskets to store the grain. Storing animals. Animals that are reared multiply naturally and provide milk and meat as food. These animals are thus used as a store of food. Finding about the first farmers and herders. Evidence of early farmers and herders is found in northwest, present-day Kashmir, East and South India by the archaeologists. Scientists study the remains of plants, animal bones, and remains of burnt grain to find out sites of settlement of farmers and herders. Scientists can identify these grains and bones and find where all in the subcontinent these crops were grown and animals reared. The table here shows where evidence of grain and bones of domesticated animals have been found.
I hope all of you get an idea about how did hunter-gatherers become farmers and herders. The remaining part of this lesson I will take in the next session. Now take a notebook and write it down. I will call you personally. That time only you want to send the notebook to me, or otherwise I will send a message through the parent day diary. That time you send the notebooks to me. First question, what is meant by domestication? Answer, domestication is the process in which people grow plants and look after animals. Domestication is the process in which people grow plants and look after animals. Second point, it was a gradual process that took place in many parts of the world. Third point, it began about 12,000 years ago. Fourth point, the earliest plants to be domesticated were wheat and barley. Wheat and barley were the earliest plants to be domesticated. Fifth point, the earliest domesticated animals include sheep and goat. That's the last point. Second question, why do people who grow crops have to stay in the same place for a long time? Answer, first point, when people began growing plants, they had to stay in the same place for a long time. Third point, for looking after the plants, watering, weeding, driving away animals and birds till the grain ripened. Third question, what are the ways in which the grain was used? Answer, 4 different ways. First one as seed, second one as food, third one as gift, and the last one stored for food. These are the 4 ways in which the grain was used. Fourth question, how did people become farmers? Answer. First point. People observed several things such as A. The places where edible plants were found. B. How seeds broke off stalks, fell on the ground, and new plants sprouted from them. Second point. Perhaps they began looking after plants, protecting them from birds and animals till the grain ripened. Full stop. Third point. In this way, people became farmers. I hope all of you get an idea about the new way of life of hunter-gatherers. From hunting and gathering food, how do they become settled farmers? All of you read the textbook well, study the notes. Thank you, children.